I'm a professional troublemaker. Yeah, you heard me right. A professional, brummy troublemaker. I grew up between Bartley Green, where my mum lives, and Lee Bank, where my granddad lives. For those of you that know Birmingham, you know that these are opposite ends of the city. And for me, they represent opposite ends of my story. At school, my Year 9 parents' evening seemed to reinforce my fate, when my teachers told me I was predicted D's and E's. My RE teacher even told me not to take a subject, as it would be a waste of one of my GCSEs. I felt like I was destined to fail. And then, in 2009, life shifted when situations led to me living with my granddad permanently. He's a kind man, and I knew I had the freedom to design the L'Oreal that I wanted to. This was the start of my rebellion. For the first time, I used that internalized feeling of doubt as fuel to break out the cycle. Everyone around me expected me to be troubled. Family, friends, society. The world wouldn't have been mad if I gave up. But I refused to be told what to do. Young people are always told that they're rebellious and unruly. They're told they don't listen, they don't participate, and they just want to cause trouble. But I say cause trouble, be a problem. When I was told that I couldn't do or be something, I said, all right, cool, watch me. I even once ran a half marathon off the back of someone saying that I couldn't do it. But you know what that's called? It's called resilience. And as somebody who's from the hood, I know what it takes to survive. It takes guts, it takes resilience, and it takes a community. But as somebody who's in a leadership position, I also know what it takes to succeed. It takes guts, it takes a resilience, and it takes a community. Surely I'm not the only one that sees the connection here. There's always these technical buzzwords that fly around, buzzwords like strategy and management, diversity and inclusion. They aren't accessible to people like us. I mean strategy. You know what strategy is? It's what we do when we're trying to warm our parents up to the idea of us popping to our friend's party later on. Budgeting. Budgeting is just what we do when we're trying to make £10 stretch over a bus fare across the city, a Mackey's, and a top from New Look. Teamwork. Is that not what's done when our neighbours pop over to borrow some sugar for their cuppa? It's all the same. But we're the people that develop these skills from young, but haven't been given the opportunity to learn how to translate these. People from adversity are some of the strongest and most resilient people I've ever met. And I would argue that these people are leaders. 30% of our leaders in the UK went to private school, even though only 7% of the population attended private school. Every single leader in the UK since 1937 who attended university went to Oxford. How mad's that? And yet, young people from low socioeconomic backgrounds are less than half as likely to achieve just a GCSE in maths and English. The UK is the 5th richest country in the world. And yet, it takes a child from a low socioeconomic background 5 generations just gain an income of £27,000. I argue that these children will have already probably started developing the skills needed to succeed, just in different ways. Because wasn't it Marcus Rashford that made the government do a U-turn on their decision on free school meals over the COVID-19 pandemic? a young black boy from a low socioeconomic background. Now, this is a typical example of leaders facing problems connecting with their stakeholders, because most of the time, they cannot fix these problems internally because they do not have the knowledge or experience. So they'll do outreach. They are forced to ask people to help them solve their problems. Usually, they'll tap into local communities, the same communities where we're from. Yeah, they'll come in, they'll use our experiences and our knowledge for profit. They will capitalize off us. And that's how I know we need people like us leading. People with real life experience who are able to add a perspective that privilege cannot. When they don't have people like us in the boardrooms, they end up with culturally insensitive scandals. I'm talking about this being a Jamaican-inspired jumper, but doesn't even have the right Jamaican colours on it. I'm talking about the UK government thinking that it was a great idea to have an anti-knife crime campaign that they pitched and put into local chicken shops. Do you think that these could have been signed off if there was people like us in the boardroom? Definitely not. It is a key governance fact that the majority of company failures can be traced back to the boardroom. The same boardrooms where there is not one single black person in an executive position in the FTSE 100 companies in the UK. We deserve representation. We deserve accountability. I want to see the bad man in the boardroom. But first, there needs to be a push on supporting young people from marginalised communities to understand their natural potential and how to utilise their skills. Because they're always looking at leaving the hood, never using the hood as a platform. There are things such as disruptive HR now that suggest that organisations are recruiting of passion as well as skills. So I'm saying work hard, work really hard, because hard work pays off. But I need you to move with love and compassion. Remember your struggle, don't disregard it. It made you, don't forget about it. And don't let the systems of this world separate you from your story. They were created to divide us. The Black Lives Matter movement should not have been the first time that organisations got shook because they had no black people in them. Yeah, I have a Master's of Business Administration, and I'm a qualified governance practitioner. I am that bad man in the boardroom. So, what are you saying?